day, wrestling fans in the Loco and beyond. And I think our audience is growing across the state. I think more and more people are figuring out that somebody's talking about wrestling, and it's here on the Loco Grind, presented by Reverence Wrestling Club. Justin, Jarrett, and George Dixon with you, and we both spent a very long couple of days in the Florence Center on Friday and Saturday for the South Carolina High School League Wrestling Championships. It was a great time, a tremendous performance from the local kids. I got some numbers that I'll share with you momentarily. It was all around just a really great couple of days for wrestling in our state. Over 1,000 wrestlers, as I understand it, under one roof at Florence Center. I thought the presentation of the finals was tremendous. I thought the tournament ran tremendously efficiently. Trains ran on time, which is saying a lot with a tournament of that magnitude. And you were rounding up the officials, and it didn't seem like anybody was too awful mad at them. So, I mean, we all get a little hot under the collar from time to time, but it seemed like we all got along pretty well. So what'd you think, George? Successful weekend, huh?
Oh, I think the South Carolina Wrestling Coaches Association, they did a great job. With in conjunction with the high school league, Tim Kinney and the group from there. It was well done. The kids received recognition. The athletes had their opportunities to get out there and show their stuff. The coaches had, their opportunity to highlight their wrestlers and help them get the recognition, wrestling their tails off. I know over at Hilton Head, Cole Sowers was one. And then you guys had one as well that lost in the first round and then had to truck it back through the bottom side of the bracket to get back to third and fourth. And I know Sowers got third, and I think your kid got fourth. Yep. So it was, I mean, that shows your grit. That shows your determination to lose that early and then have to come back. It's just, you got to have some heart. You got to have some want it at that point to get back that far through the bracket.
Yeah, and there was only one round of consies on Friday, so that meant you had to win 3 in a row on Saturday to get back into the medals. And like you said, a few guys were able to do that, including Sowers, including our guy David Talaferro. But in total, 25 All-State wrestlers from the Loco, top 4 being All-State out of the 16 who qualified for the state tournament. 9 of them state champs and 4 runners-up. May River repeated as the traditional team champion in Class 4A, outlasting Travelers Rest. It was close until pretty late, and then the Sharks had a really good showing in the blood round and in the medal rounds and went 5 for 5 in the finals, although one of those was girls, so it didn't count toward that team score. But Stefano Calderon at 106, just a sophomore, he wins his first one. And then the seniors, Marcus Folk at 126, Thomas Bruff at 150, and Blake Butler at 157. Butler was just dominant all weekend. Vivian Uriola, the girls champ at 130 for May River, and she was our only girls champ. Bryce Stevenson won him another one for Hilton Head. Gave up the first takedown. I was a little worried, but he took control of that match pretty quickly and took that one. Buford's Colton Freeman at 215, dominant performance. I don't even think he wrestled like a full period in his 3 matches or 4 matches. Just dominated everybody. And then 2 for Battery Creek, Theo Johnson at 120 and Nate Najjar at 150. And Theo's a great story. He was 6-36 2 years ago as a freshman, went 39-6 last year, and now he's a state champ as a junior and has a chance to run it back next year. So super cool there. Some other finalists on the girls' side, Michaela Henchy. We love her. We've had her on the show before. Many great things ahead for her. She was the runner-up at 155. Alicia Mullins, who we thought might be done for the season at one point this year. When she injured her knee, she was able to fight back and get back on the mat. And she ended up runner-up at 105, beat a 2-time state champ in the semis to get into the finals, and then lost to that Conway girl that she lost to last week. And then Bluffton, Andrew Lawson at 113 and Abraham Brown at 190, both runners-up. And the Bobcats finished 3rd in the team standings in 4A. Yeah, really good look for Beaufort County there.
Yeah, Coach Nutter and the boys over there are doing a great job with with the Bobcats, and they showed their strength coming in through the duels.
Yep.
With May River, and at that point, we were already saying, yeah, they're probably the second best team in the lower state, and then to pull out a third place in the traditional
Yep.
just shows that not only are they that good in the lower state, that they were third best in the state. So,
Yeah.
congrats to Coach Nutter and the Bobcats over there.
No doubt about it. And they had some other placers. Christian Vargas at 215 and Oscar Roman at 106 placed third. And PJ Ventrone was fourth at 120. May River, Bryce Butler at 113 and Ryan Seaman at 120 both placed third. And Sean Zadroga McNulty was fourth at 215. Sowers and Jordan Moutry in the girls 130 bracket placed third for Hilton Head. And then fourth place finishers Jordan LaPresta from Colleton County at 138. Bridges Preps, Kevin Summers at 175 in the 2A, 1A. Javari Bartley from Whale Branch at 132. And then I mentioned him earlier, David Talaferro from Hardyville. Just our second year for the program and our first all-state guy, David Talaferro, just a freshman at 113. So we're really excited about him. And we already talked to Blake about making sure that he stays on the mat in the off season and gets involved with Reverence. So great to see Blake up there too, of course, supporting all the low country guys and especially the ones who train with him. And just a great crowd all weekend long. It was packed.
Amazing. Yeah, it was packed. They were having a whale of a time. Obviously, the way that the mats were set up, certain divisions on certain mats that allowed their fans to get to the end of the arena where their people were going to be.
Yeah.
So having that knowledge ahead of time was definitely helpful to get the people where they wanted to be and get that support going. And I think, like you said, it was outstanding.
Yeah, it really was. And, I've talked in the past about what it looked like before the last couple of years. Although I never saw it at Anderson, I just heard kind of what it was like.
Well, it was
But
crowded. It was crowded. There was no room for the athletes to warm up.
yeah,
The fans were literally right at Matt's side behind, barriers, but they
yeah.
were right in the way. Everybody standing at the rail was always an issue. There was way too many people in the building. There were no
Fire
locker
marshal would
rooms.
not have been happy.
Right. The fire marshals, safety issues of that regard. It was, our locker room for the officials was way too small, trying to fit all of our people in. It just wasn't big enough. The facility was just too small.
Yeah.
Everything that, let's say, Todd McCormick, who kind of put things together up there, he did a great job with the hotels and the hospitality, that sort of thing. He did a wonderful job with that, but the problem was it was just too darn small.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we and the sport's busting at the seams. I mean, we are exploding in numbers every year, and it just continues to grow, and that forces us to allow more kids to go to the state tournament and those kinds of things. So, it seems to have found a good home at Florence Center, though. And before that, it was just classification by classification in a high school gym, and that doesn't feel like a state championship situation. So, I grew up on Kansas, where every year we went to Wichita to the Kansas Coliseum, and it was 4A, 5A, 6A there. And then I think in Salina was where they had the 3A, 2A, 1A. And it was an arena like Florence Center where you couldn't get down on the floor, and your team camps would post up, and they're into the arena, like you said, and make sure you heard them when their guys got a win. And so this was much more like what I was accustomed to growing up, and then what I saw in Missouri as well, which was always at the Hearn Center back in the day. Now I guess it'd be at Mizzou Arena, or maybe they still do it at the Hearns. I'm not sure, but it was great at Hearns. Tremendous environment, but I don't think I've ever seen a better presentation of the finalists than we had on Saturday. I mean, it was awesome when they put the whole light show on, lowered the lights, put the light show on, had the cold sparks as they read their bio and they ran out to their mat. That was hype. I was fired up. That was awesome
Well, the
stuff.
only thing I would ask that they maybe address, it was almost like Charlie Brown's teacher
Oh
When
yeah, it was hard to hear
it
what they
was
were
hard to
saying.
understand
Absolutely.
what they were saying. Yeah, you could kind of tell, but the acoustics in there for that system was not the best, and it was hard
Right.
to understand what they were saying and when they were saying it. About the athletes and that kind of thing. So that is probably something that could be addressed to make it a little better. Speaking of how it looked and was presented, I've done both sides of the river, Georgia as well. When we were in the Gwinnett Center up near Atlanta, they would bring a set of chairs to the corner of the mat, off the edge. But the parents, you had 6 seats, so they could sit down in the corner. And back in the day, um, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, um, his boy Dustin Runnels was wrestling, and they had Diamond Dallas Page and Dusty Rhodes, and there was a mess of them in the corner over there, and it was just a blast. But it was great for the families because they got to come right down to Matt's side, and so they could sit in those chairs and be close to cheer on their families. And the kids came down out of the bleachers down through the stands with a spotlight on them as they came down and whatever to the floor. So
That's cool.
that was pretty cool back then. They've now
Very
obviously switched venues. We've been through in Georgia a couple of different venues, and they were at a new one this year. But yeah, kind of a different setup. But back then, that was pretty darn cool for those kids.
Absolutely. And this was just a look at what it looked like when they were announcing the finalists, which was pretty cool. It was, and the crowd would go crazy every time the lights went down, and then they go crazy when they came back up because that
Yep.
meant they're about to wrestle. So yeah, just an awesome experience in total. And you talked about in the past venues not having a great place for athletes to warm up. They had a great solution for that this year, which I understand was new this year. They had 3 full mats back in a ballroom just adjacent to the competition floor, so kids could stay warmed up and go do their cool downs and all those and sleep, take naps. It was just like a homeless camp back there in the ballroom. It got a little rank by the end of the day on Saturday. The odor was getting to be a bit much. You notice it when you went out and came back in, but that's to be expected. It was a really good setup, and it's always it always makes my heart feel good to watch all the kids like make friends from other schools and to get to meet other kids, like the kid who wrestled Stefano in the 106 final in 4A, Franco. Franco was awesome. We met him from Dreer. He was going around with our guy Brian Ford from Bamberg, the little 106 that was runner up, and they were doing interviews. They were interviewing people and recording it on their phone. So it's just fun to watch the kids interact and see the friendships form and see them, connect with guys they've wrestled in the past and stuff like that. So
Well,
just a
here's
great,
a
great
funny
weekend.
story. Here's a funny story on that. Speaking of those relationships made back in the day, so I'm down on the floor, and our weighmaster Dale Metzger wrestled for Hanahan back in the day, and the Stuckey kid came up on the 3A mat for his state final. And so Dale came up behind me, and we were talking about that. And yeah, that's Chris Stuckey. That's his nephew. I said, wait a minute, Stuckey that wrestled at Hanahan back in the day? It's like, yeah, yeah. So, well, Stuckey used to come down to Bluffton and hang out with us, Scott Moody and I.
Okay.
He'd come down and hang out, and he and Scott they went up and wrestled in Chattanooga and did some freestyle stuff. They traveled around the Southeast together. And so Dale went and grabbed Chris Stuckey, out of the stands, brought him down. So we got to chat and catch up, get a picture, selfie. And then I sent that to Scott Moody, who's, lives in Pritchardville out here. And uh, so the three of us are going to try to catch up and whatever here before too long. But those relationships made back then, these kids making those relationships now, they will, probably linger.
Yeah. No doubt about it. A lot of them will, and they'll pop up in the strangest times when you don't
Yep,
expect them like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got to reconnect with somebody I hadn't spoken with in a long time when I heard that Ryan Day was out there. They were presenting the Nate Day scholarship that they do
Yep.
every year, and they said, and here to present it are his wife Kimberly and his son Ryan, and I was like, oh shoot, I haven't seen Ryan Day in ages. So I got to chat with him and meet his wife. So that was really cool. He of course was a star athlete in all kinds of sports at Thomas Hayward, and his dad, the great Nate Day, the phenomenal wrestling coach at Battery Creek, and then later at Liberty, who passed away during the COVID pandemic. But pretty cool presentation, and awesome that they have that award. And Thomas Bruff was one of the finalists for it.
Yep. And Kim has done a great job with that. It's amazing because Nate did touch so many lives, low country, upstate as well. he he did a tremendous job with the sport of wrestling, and uh, touched so many people. And thanks to his family, he's still touching people.
Yeah,
So
very cool. Um, and yeah, that's the rundown. I think we're all exhausted after that couple of days. It felt like weeks I spent in that ballroom.
it was a long couple days. Yeah, I spent my 2 days. We were evaluating officials, and making sure that the things were done correctly. We did have an inordinate amount of bites and
Ooh,
flagrant misconducts. That came through. A pretty fair number of unsportsmanlike conducts as well. And but it was an amazing weekend. Yes, a long weekend. We did enjoy ourselves. Those are memories that will be forever memories for those state champions. Those kids that qualified, maybe it was their senior year and they finally made it. And so different goals for different people. Obviously, trying to reach a different level, but
yeah,
the coaches that had their Darlington had their first finalist in
yeah,
their school's history.
yep,
You guys had your first state medalist.
yep.
It's just the sport, like you said, is continuing to grow, and we will hopefully be blessed to stay in and be a part of that.
And the growth of the girls side is incredible, and not just the growth of numbers, but just the quality is really going up. I mean, there were years where other than Zayo, and a couple others, there were not a lot of girls that were really wrestling on that level.
Yeah,
But
her and June
it's pretty
Welch,
deep now.
yeah,
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 June Welch, and then of
and
course they
Zayo. That
started
was
coming
about
along.
it back
Yeah,
then. Yeah.
yeah, they were both ahead of the curve, but it's definitely here to stay. And I saw some really good girls this weekend, especially in the state finals.
Yeah, the technique has improved. Obviously, the conditioning, just the buy-in
Yeah,
on the lifestyle, the wrestling
hmm
lifestyle, the time, the effort, that it takes. Our old saying back in the day was dedication is the deciding factor, and it really is, and they're getting that, they're buying into that, and the quality has definitely gone up.
yeah, no question. And again, we had good showing from some of our girls. Vivian Uriola with the state title from May River, and then Michaela Hinchy from Hilton Head, and Alicia Mullins both making the finals and finished second. So, and then Jordan Mutri, I think she was state champ before, right? She finished third at 130, which must have been a brutal weight class this year.
Definitely had to be. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, Michaela to get
yeah.
second. I mean,
Oh well, that girl.
that girl
Oh
from Rock
man,
Hill is legit. I mean,
crazy good.
she's tough.
Alicia Thomas was her name, the Rock Hill girl that beat Michaela. She was runner up the last 2 years and won it this year. Um, she was runner up to Bianca Connell from Malden. Which did she end up winning it? I
I
don't
think she
remember.
did. Yeah.
I vaguely paid attention to some of those matches while I was driving home. No, she got pinned. I
Oh, she
thought
got
she might
pinned?
have lost. Serenity Slate from Gaffney denied Bianca Connell her
Or
fourth.
four.
She was
Yeah.
going for a fourth and she didn't get it. Serenity, uh, is it Serenity State? Yeah, Serenity State from Gaffney, who won her
Wow. All
second.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bianca was, she's tough. I mean, she's and to get now the question is, not seeing the match, did she get caught and get pinned, or
Right. It's a good question. But I thought I saw that Serenity was leading that match even before that. But let
Okay,
me
yeah, and
see.
she may have been because I really don't know. I didn't see it. That I was on the opposite end of the arena from the girls' mat. I was down near the 3A, 4A, those two
Yeah,
mats.
she was up 11-3 when she pinned her. Yeah, that's what I thought. She was rolling. She
Okay,
just controlled
yeah,
that match. I saw that. I watched a little bit of it. I was driving home, but I was trying to get what's her name, Michaela's match. I was trying to see it, so I had
yeah,
it on the girls' mat and saw the end of that 145, and I was like, holy cow! She was named the South Carolina Wrestling Coaches Association Women's Wrestler of the Tournament, which is uh, worthwhile. I mean, that's what she probably
yeah.
should have been. Yeah, Jennifer Angie knew she didn't win. She was locked in, waiting for the next one with Michaela coming up. But yeah, that was a shock, definitely, that she didn't get it. Uh, Here we go, finals. Were there any other big shocks? I mean, it was a little bit of a shock that Lawson made the finals for Bluffton. He knocked off Bryce Butler to get in there. That was good stuff. I know Noah Lynch from Hartsville is a freshman who won one. I think there were some others. Freeman was dominant, man.
Yeah, there was the one
Well,
kid was the freshman that wanted. He was a 4A kid, but yeah, he
Lynch, yeah,
yeah,
the 132 from
yeah,
Hartsville. Yeah,
yeah. That kid
he's
was
tough.
beast mode coming through there.
Yeah, really, really tough. Um, let's see. I mean, I think Theo Johnson coming through and winning one was a bit of a surprise, but tremendous
I
for
want to
Battery
say it's like
Creek.
8-7 or something. It was a close match.
Yeah, Theo won 7-6. Yeah, it
Seven
was a
six.
battle,
Okay.
absolute battle with Luke Gray from Crescent. We had some really good matches in the finals. I know Alex Allison from Liberty got his fourth in 2A, 1A. Liberty's really tough. They got a bunch of good kids. That Buford kid, 215, man, he was an animal too. Um,
Well,
I was pulling for the
Chesney as a group did real well for their.
Chesney is outstanding,
Yeah.
and I'm glad they're going to 2A, so we don't have to fool with them next year because they're awfully good. We matched up with them a good bit too. It felt like we had to because they had somebody in every dang weight, so
Yeah.
you were bound to match up with them. May River taking the title in 4A, West Oak in 3A. 2A is going to be interesting next year because West Oak comes down. Um, and so is Battery Creek, and so 2A is going to get crowded, and 4A will have a little extra juice too with 4A getting expanded. And,
That, and I think Lugolf, they'll be dropping down.
Okay.
I think they come down from 5 to 4. So
Yeah.
that'll throw a different wrench in. I know Hartsville's
Oh,
going down from 4
is
to 3.
Eastside coming down?
East side? No.
Okay,
Lugolf.
I know Eastside wanted to come down, but I
They
don't
wanted
think
to
they
come down. I
ended
think
up
they got
really.
stuck in 5 though.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think so
think they
too.
got the acknowledgement from the high school league to drop.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the approval, because they're always a problem, of
oh
course.
yeah, they're tough. Yeah.
Dominate. They just keep rolling, man. Eastside
Yeah,
program.
Cosmic and the boys, they've got
Yeah,
a solid program with the Iron Eagles or whatever youth group, that feeds them. So plus the job they do, with their
yeah,
coaching staff, it's incredible. I mean, Coach Powell, if he were on, he could attest to that. with having met him twice in the finals. So
Yeah, and I'm sure he was eagerly watching to see the result of their their appeal when they were trying to come back down to 4A too.
yeah. So I know
But
talking to Hartsville, they said they were definitely happy to be dropping down to 3. Theirs to get away from May River.
yeah, to get out of the
They were
shadow.
wanting to go down to get away from them. So yeah,
Yeah. Now, Pal's got himself a nice little dynasty going over there now with back-to-back both team and or dual and traditional state championships, and he graduates a good bit this year. But we saw what he's got coming behind it because they did very well in the JV ranks too. So should be another great year for May River Wrestling. But Bluffton right there on their heels, and they had a lot of young guys this year. So hopefully we can just keep raising the bar in this area. I think we took 57 from Beaufort County, 65 from what we consider the Lowco area, including Jasper, Colleton, and there is no public school team in Hampton, but we include them. And then we ended up with 25 bringing home hardware. So pretty awesome showing. 9 state champs, 4 runners up, and hopefully those numbers just keep going up and up as we add more programs and more wrestlers to the mix.
well, I think with the the added bonus for our area of Reverence,
Hmm.
the rising tide, as it were, at Reverence. We're our teams, the Low Country, Beaufort County, Jasper, uh, well, over into Effingham and Chatham as well, coming into Reverence to get better, to up their game,
Yep.
and it's showing. And that's just better for us, middle school wise. Being at McCracken and having Bluffton Middle and those guys, it's definitely showing at the upper level at high school with those
Hmm.
guys getting that done.
Yeah, no doubt. And then here, I missed this last week. I forgot to mention it, but we did have a couple of guys from the area who placed at the prep school uh, qualifier, which you were at that, right?
Yeah, I was up
You-
there roughing
yeah,
that one. Yeah.
that's what I thought. A couple of our guys made it through from Patrick Henry, the Sobey brothers, both
Yep.
got through. And then was that it? Did JP2 get? They got
I
one in
don't.
two, right?
I
Trip Thiessen, I think maybe made it.
I think they had one maybe that made it
Yeah,
through. I know I looked at the results for Prep Nationals, and Lake Island Prep won it. But there was a kid from Cardinal Newman that placed, and that's the first ever South Carolina
really.
placer at Prep Nationals.
How about that?
So
Uh, it's got to be. You said Cardinal Newman.
yeah,
It's got to be the one kid, right? Gosh, what's his name? Their 106 is really good. I know that.
yeah, I think the kid wrestles out of the Mighty Warriors,
Yeah,
um, club up in Columbia area.
here we go. I got to him. Uh, yeah, Carter Lurg. Yeah, the 106. Yeah, he's tough, real tough. Got 7th place. So congrats to him. That's awesome. Um, Sobeys. I know they were at 75 and 90, I believe. See how they did. Man, these are big brackets.
Yeah,
Uh, real big brackets. There's a round of 64. It's just pigtails, but still. That's intense. So yeah, Sobe went 0 and 2, or Kai did. Luke, yeah, lost that one, and oh, he won one.
all right,
He won one. He got to the Conci of 2 and he lost 7-5. Conci of 16, number 2, and he lost 7-5. So to the 14 seed. So yeah, good for
okay,
Luke.
yeah,
Luke, the Sobeys came out from Missouri a couple years ago. They live out in Hampton County, and boys play football at Patrick Henry, and they made them a wrestling team too.
yep.
So it's them and a few other guys, right? A couple other guys, but those Sobey boys can really wrestle.
Well, they both made the finals at the Southeast Regional last
Yeah.
weekend. The younger one, I think, won it, and the older one finished second at the Cardinal Newman
Yeah.
qualifier last week. So,
Yeah. And they, I think they both won state championships in SCHSL, if I'm not mistaken, this year. And it was the second for Kai. So, or no, the second for Luke, first for Kai. So yeah, those kids are tough, and I think they make the trek from Hampton County to train at Reverence too, which is a testament to what we got here. People are driving, an hour plus to get, and people are coming down from Charleston to train at Reverence from time to time as well. So
yeah,
in fact, Gianni Batone has been known
yeah.
to
Batoni,
stop
yeah, he's
in.
been there. Yeah,
He won another one, right?
yep, yeah, he did.
Yeah, that man is tough. And where's he going? He going to Citadel?
I think that's what they said. It was Citadel. Yeah,
I think so too. Blake's going to Lander. I don't know where anybody else is going, but that's a couple good ones. They're going to do it at the next level. So I guess that's a wrap, man, on wrestling
yeah,
season 25, 26. It was a heck of a run. The traveling circus made many stops, and there were a lot of wild rides, and we survived it, man. It was fun.
for sure. And I appreciate you again having me on. And again, congrats to all the coaches, to the state champs, state placers. Um, keep putting in the time, keep putting in the effort. As I always say, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and then we'll have a few guys wrestling in the North South next weekend as well. You going to be up
Yep.
there?
Will not be at North South this weekend. It's the Bluffton Shindig. So I'll be going to the Shindig on Saturday and taking a wrestling weekend off. The following weekend, I'll be up at the SoCon Championships in Asheville. Ty and I will both be up there working um, the tournament, working tables at the tournament, and doing that and helping out around the SoCons. I do need to give a shout out to our officials from down this way. Will Carter, Ty Dixon, and Art Tucker, all from the Beaufort County group, made it to officiate at the state tournament. And Will, for him and his son, they both had the opportunity to be at the state tournament. Um, Obviously, his son wrestling for Bluffton and getting some mat time. And then,
Oh, Xander's
yeah,
Will's son. I did
yeah,
not realize that.
yeah. So they both got to be there as a father son, even though, obviously he can't rep his kids' stuff, but, he got to be there and they got to share that stage together, much as Ty and I got to do. While I wasn't repping, I was, evaluating and stuff, but Ty got his first opportunity to rep the state tournament. And, Joe, it's a good thing. He wound up after day one. We haven't tallied up all the results from yesterday yet, but after day one, he was number 6 out of 32 officials. So he ranked out very well after day one. So,
Nice.
yeah, and Art Tucker after day one was top 15. I don't remember where Will was after day one, but um, so definitely a good showing from our officials down this way. And so not only did the wrestlers and coaches show out, our officials also had a good showing.
Yeah, man, good stuff. And one of them's your boy, so you've taught him
And one of
well.
them's my boy. So obviously proud dad moment for me, a proud dad moment for Will, as
Yeah,
well. So it's as well as anybody, it's a family thing.
yeah,
You've got it, you've got your kid in it, and I was lucky enough to deal with him some at McCracken, and obviously get to ref him some when he was middle school. It's a family thing, and it's a family whether it's Nutter, Newton,
yeah.
Powell, it's Michelici, whatever,
Yep.
Hagen. We're all a
Rutherford.
family.
We saw Rutherford this weekend. It was good to
Yeah,
see
got to
him.
see Rutherford from Waccamaw. His team did well. They showed out a little bit up there, and so that's low country that moved a little further up the hill. But we'll keep claiming them. We'll keep claiming
We
them.
still
So
love him.
yeah, we don't hate them. So, but it's a family, and it was great to see the uh, teams over on the edge of the mat. I took a picture from my corner where I was sitting between 3 and 4, and it had Bluffton guys and Beaufort guys and May River guys, and they're all over there cheering each other on, during the matches, and it was great to see that camaraderie with the teams, the coaches, as the Beaufort County teams were going at it on the mat, they were supporting each other, and that's amazing to see. I think that's wonderful. We compete with each other as teams, but hey, we got to push each other up. Kind of like I said, the new Reverence shirt, the rising tide. As the water comes up, all the boats are going to get lifted. And and me, I've been pushing that for forever. I want Beaufort County to be the new wrestling mecca. The Low Country down here to really step it up and be that location that everybody looks to. Man, they're coming out of Beaufort County. They're going to be tough, so be ready.
Amen. I think we're getting there, man. It was a good run this year for sure. And to that point that you were talking about, we had our rivalry with Bamberg, which thank goodness we won't be in the same region next year because they're tough. But they've become our friends, and so Brian Ford, their little 106, we were in his corner all weekend long. And then, our guy David's wrestling in the consolation bracket Saturday, and we hear somebody yell up. We look up, and it's Ford. He's up there telling us, "Hey, tell him to cut him. Tell him to cut him."
There you go. There you go.
Up there giving us coaching tips. But no, I love it. I love the camaraderie of it all. I made a bunch of new friends this year. Wrestling in the 2A, 1A ranks. I got to meet a bunch of new people that I haven't interacted with before, and made a bunch of new friends and got a bunch of numbers saved in my phone so we can schedule up next year. Also, shout out to May River for the shout out in the program for the Coach's Choice #1 hospitality room of the season from the Shark Invitational. There's never a doubt it was out of this world, knocked it out of the park. But shout out nonetheless. Powell called it one of the coolest awards the program has ever gotten. They won 4 state championships in the last 2 years.
Well, there you go. That's a heck of an honor. Yeah.
That was the only thing missing this weekend, and I understand why. You can't feed that many coaches. But I did miss the hospitality room. It's a mainstay of the wrestling tournament, and one of the only things that gets us through. I had to pop out to the gas station a couple times to get provisions, but because I didn't have time for that, wait in that line to get food. No chance.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I was hearing stories about that. Yeah, so
I don't even want to know how long it took.
Yeah, I'm glad we had our own little area down there for our quote unquote hospitality room to get that stuff. But I would not have want to try to wait in line to get that stuff.
No way. I walked across to Firehouse Subs once and over to 7-Eleven once, but a great season nonetheless, and not quite over yet. We got North-South next weekend, and then there'll be some people wrestling week after that, I'm sure, going somewhere.
Well, we'll have nationals in Virginia Beach. High school nationals will be coming up the 26, 27, 28 of March, whatever that weekend is. Might be 27, 28, 29, whatever. But that weekend of March will be high school nationals. And I know Reverence will have, some kids coming up for that. And hopefully we'll have a good showing from that crew. And I'll be up there doing video reviews and hanging out on the mezzanine. And so if anybody's up that way, getting food on the second level, come up and visit, say hi. And
so in other words, we'll see you if we watch this later on the YouTube, which I often do. I put on wrestling videos on YouTube in my classroom and just let them go. Every once in a while, I look up and you are overseeing a video review.
I will be if there's a video review, and here's a tidbit, but they're adding 20 more mats this year. Whoa. So it's going from 59 mats to 79 mats. We're adding in the old convention center across the street from the sports complex. They're adding 20 more mats. So over there, there'll be a different video review guy. And it's actually the guy who's in charge of Prep Nationals. So we used to ref together doing the college stuff. And so he'll be over there across the street doing those. But I'll be doing the big side with 59 mats and trying to get that done. But yeah, if there's a video review, I'll be the guy doing the review, but I'll be behind the curtain, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You won't see me much.
Well, there was a Super 32 where we saw you a lot.
Yeah, you see me at the Super 32 because I actually have to step out in front of the camera for those.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach, I've got on a headset. They call me from the floor. I talk to them. I do the review, and then I call back down to the floor, and the pod leader then kind of steps in and says, after video review, blah, blah, blah. So.
All right. Very cool. A little behind the scenes look at how it happens with the video.
Exactly.
Reviews. So, all right. Well, good stuff, man. Always enjoyed talking wrestling with you and just hanging out. It's always a good time. So, thanks for being a good co-host all season long. Thanks to Reverence Wrestling Club for making it possible with their sponsorship and their support of the sport here in the Low Country. And thanks to all of you for showing up to listen or watch and for screaming your lungs out for all those wrestlers out there. I got mine back today. I drank some throat coat tea and got my voice is starting to come back. It was a little rough yesterday, but we back in the game. So thanks again. Been a great season, and we'll see you next season on the Lowco Grind. Until then,
All right.
go Lowco and keep
go Lowco.